Welcome back to EDFD460, and in this video I'd like to talk to you exactly what EDFD460 is about and also what the expectations of the unit are. Obviously this unit is going to be about creativity, and it's going to be about imagination, and it's going to be about education, and it's about how those three entities and those three concepts come together. I think the easiest way for me to talk quickly about what the unit is about is to go through the unit content. So as you look at the unit homepage, you'll see that there are various different folders and various different links. For those of you who are used to Blackboard, you'll probably be able to move around pretty quickly. For those of you who are new to Blackboard, I will be putting up a series of videos that will take you through step by step the different components. So don't worry about that for now. This is more about an introduction to the actual the substance of the unit. And so I'll be looking at the different folders that you can find in the unit content folder, which is on the unit homepage. So once you're able to log into Blackboard, if you go to unit content and have a look at that, you'll see that the first link that you have is called Introduction. And this is basically an introduction to the unit. The opening paragraph is also found in your unit outline, and it basically tells you here that we're going to be looking at the work of educational thinkers such as Ken Robinson and Elliot Eisner. And also, as you get to the bottom of that paragraph, you'll see that the concepts within this unit are important not only for our students but also for ourselves. So this is very much the idea about lifelong learning. So you would have heard about the importance of reflection, you would have heard the importance of lifelong learning, and within this unit I think you can really begin to see how those operate and see why they are important. Further on down this page, there are explanations about some of the terminology, explanations about where you'll find different components of the unit. There is a link to our Facebook page. Please note the Facebook page is not compulsory. That is just for those of you who enjoy using Facebook. There's an explanation about the starter wrapper process, which you'll be using throughout assessment 1, A, B, and C. And there are just a few more links as well. If you go back to the unit content folder and click onto the preparatory module link. Now the preparatory module actually opens on Monday the 7th of February, and the point of this module is to give you an introduction to the importance of online learning, and it gives you some really great access to documentation that will help you understand why we learn in the online environment and how it is different to the face-to-face environment. Obviously a key concept at EDFD 460 is that it is online. That some of you may have the opportunity for face-to-face content because you'll be on the same campus, but some of us are in America, some of us are in Saudi Arabia. So we need to learn how to operate in the online environment, and so these readings will help you with those. There's also a very important reading by Jay Cunningham called Self-Direction, a Critical Tool in Distance Learning. And self-direction is a term that you will hear throughout this unit because the unit is about self-direction. Unlike a face-to-face unit where you have a weekly lecture and you have a weekly workshop, this unit doesn't have that structure. It still has the requirement in terms of the number of hours that you engage with the content, but it doesn't have a lecture at Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It doesn't have a workshop on Thursday at 4 o'clock. It's up to you to engage with the content, and it's up to you to work with your group members and make sure that all of you are operating at the highest level possible. You'll see there are a number of starred readings in the preparatory learning module, and they're the key ones that I really would like you to read. I'd like you to read them all. It looks really onerous when you look at the list now, but I can assure you that if you imagine this over a 2-week period, those kind of readings are really quite manageable. The readings will go through various different things. It will go through some of the software that we're using. It will go through why we have online discussions, and some of those readings you'll notice are by academic staff that we have here at ACU, and they're meant to it's not about assessment, it's not about testing, there isn't an assessment at the end of this learning module. It's about you really taking control of what you're doing and understanding the environment that you're going to be learning in. Back to the unit content folder, and we have a look at Learning Module 1. And Learning Module 1 is where you really begin to engage with EDFD 460 and its specific content. So you'll be defining and you'll be redefining creativity and imagination. I would ask you to think, what does creativity mean to me now? What does imagination mean to me now? And as we work through the unit, it's about picking up and understanding the new definitions that you have. This unit will also introduce you to Ken Robinson, who is an academic from Britain, and he is one of the world's leading experts on creativity. and specifically creativity and education. And when you watch his video on called "Do Schools Kill Creativity?" I think you'll be really quite moved about what he has to say, and it really resonates with us now studying at a university. And underneath there are some questions and some guiding statements to help you with Learning Module 1. Back to unit content and into Learning Module 2. And Learning Module 2 is where we really begin to start operating within the technological online environment that EDFD460 offers you. So when you're working in your groups, you'll be producing podcasts. So I don't really want this unit to be about endless essays and endless assignments being written and sent to me for assessment. I really want you to be picking up on the crucial parts of the content and doing something with that. And a mantra that I want you to start thinking about is information in and knowledge out. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that statement, information in, knowledge out, what does it mean? Okay, it will become very, very important. The academic experts out there, the educational experts, tell us that we're coming out of the information era and we're moving into a knowledge era. What exactly does that mean? Because there is an interpretation, and it's a great interpretation. So start thinking about that, start reflecting on that statement, and what does it mean to you as a learner, and what does it mean to you as a teacher? Creativity, imagination, and assessment, the topic for Learning Module 2, is obviously very important. Assessment is a key component of teaching and learning. But what I want you to think about when you're looking at this, the content in this learning module, is, is assessment the right word? Can we assess creativity? Can we assess imagination? It's the difference between objective and it's the difference between subjective. And how do you differentiate and how do you bring those together? It may be that you want to start thinking about another word. Is assessment the right word, or do I want to be thinking about the mapping of creativity and the mapping of imagination? Think about it in terms of yourself. If your creativity was to be assessed, how would that manifest itself? How would you allow that to happen? How would you be happy with your creativity being assessed? Or would you be happy with your creativity being mapped? It's just something for you to think about. As I said in Learning Module 2, this is where you start to work in your learning pods, and this is where you start to produce podcasts. You have been given the opportunity in Learning Module 1 to produce a podcast, so hopefully by this stage, when you get to Learning Module 2, you will no longer be timid of podcasting. And I hope you see by the end of the 12 weeks of the unit that actually podcasting is really good fun. As we move into Learning Module 3, we start to look at creativity and imagination in the 21st century. So what about the 21st century is creative and what is imaginative? Indeed, is it creative? Is it imaginative? Or has our way of life started to really tone down the creativity that was around 50, 60, 70 years ago? I'm certainly by no means leading you with any of the comments that I'm making on this video, but I really want you to start thinking about, what do these terms mean to you? How can I challenge what is being offered to me in these readings and in these texts, whether that text is words or whether it's video. And finally, as we move into Learning Module 4, we start to look at experiencing and facilitating creativity and imagination. And I hope that you see by this title that when I'm using experiencing and facilitating, that it's not just about facilitating it in the classroom for your students. It's also about how you are experiencing it and facilitating creativity and imagination as well. So this unit has a few key components that I really want you to think about at this stage, so that when we start really engaging with the content on Monday the 21st of February, you're beginning to have an understanding about what I'm wanting you to think about. So first and foremost, we're going to be looking at self-directed learning. Okay, so I'm not here to mop up the pieces at the end of each week. I'm here to support you. I'm here to learn with you. I'm here to engage in your conversations. I'm here to really listen to what you're recording in your podcast. But I'm not here to contact you at the end of each week and say, why haven't you been engaging in the online conversations with your learning pod? We're here as adults. We're here as learners. And by this stage in the game, you should really be giving that a go. Something about EDFD460 that is also very individual, and I think that makes it a great unit to study, is that it doesn't have that face-to-face content. You are given your own time a little bit more, and it means that you can really choose your own pathway. It means that you can find something in the content that you enjoy and that resonates really well with you, and you can go with it, you can run with that. You're not being expected to engage for 12 weeks in content that is going to bore you. The readings that you're given in the learning modules, they are not the only readings about creativity that are out there. I have given you a mere smattering of them. I'm hoping that by the end of the semester, I would have gained a whole load of new readings that you are showing me. Okay? So don't confine yourself to what is there in the learning modules. Really start to push the boundaries. Really start to think about, what does creativity and imagination mean? How can I redefine it? What can I do with it? That pathway is yours to set. I haven't given you a pathway that I expect you to follow. All I expect you to do is to engage with the learning and to start to really, really progress. So the only way that you would have an unsuccessful time in EDFD460 is if you really didn't do any of the work. Because I really believe that as learners, if you start to do the work, you'll find something that is interesting. I also want you to think about that statement, information in, knowledge out. What does it mean, and what can we do with it? And finally, I'd really like you to enjoy this unit. Feel free to contact me whenever you want to. I have found over the years that some of the content that comes out of this unit is absolutely fantastic and is really, really rich, and it's really, really deep. And because of the self-directed notion of this unit, is that you can really start to learn for yourselves, and I think that's really important. This is about you learning. It's not about you trying to satisfy what you think I want to see. Okay, surprise me. Give me something new throughout this unit.